Anthony Rendon is making some waves right now. For those of you who don't know who Anthony Rendon is, you're not alone. He
Well, he
is the
hasn't
guy
played
who
baseball, so
sometimes
why would
plays
they
third
know?
base for the Angels. Sometimes he doesn't. In fact, I would say most of the time he doesn't, but sometimes he does. When he's not doing that and he's not hiding somewhere, apparently he's doing podcast interviews. And he came on the Jack Vita show, and he was asked what he would do if he were in charge of Major League Baseball. How would he change it? What would he do? And he intended this comment to be rather lighthearted. However, it's a bad look either way, I think. So
they always say there's a little bit of truth in every joke, right?
Yeah.
I think that, I think there's a lot of truth in this joke.
I think so too. So he hates his job and doesn't want to come right out and admit it. But he said, "We got to shorten the season, man. It's too many dang games. We got to shorten this bad boy up." Now, that's some paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this came up on the show. My question is, why are we asking that guy? Like,
well, he didn't ask him about the season. He just said if you could change one thing, and it was,
yeah,
I get it. Like we used to ask, what's an unpopular opinion you have? Unfortunately, we didn't ask about baseball because that's what we wanted, right?
Yeah, that happened a couple of times.
But like, if we had him on our show and we said, what's one unpopular opinion you have about baseball? This is probably the answer we would get.
True.
Not
It's
the one we're
probably
looking for, but the one we would get is that the
Yeah.
season is too long. Right? Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay, there you go.
Yeah, and it probably is the way he feels, and it probably is the way a lot of other people feel. But
yeah,
it doesn't mean they're right, and because they're wrong, that's the real
because
truth
your opinion
there.
can be wrong. That's the whole thing.
Oh, you can be wrong. It happens.
That's right. Yeah, and so the thing that I think, well, first off, so I mean, when you say sometimes he plays third base for the Angels, like you're not kidding. The dude has not played in more than 58 games in a season in the last 4 years. He played 52 during COVID, so that's the highest percentage of games he's played, but small sample size nonetheless. And he's played in exactly 200 games since the 2020 season, like including the 2020 season for the Angels. In 362 game seasons and one 60 game season. I'm not going to do the math because I got a microphone in front of me, but somebody else can. And there you go. Like, small percentage of games. Yeah.
So Jonathan Papelbon has, since he hung it up, the dude has pulled the gloves off, and he is just lighting up the internet with whatever he wants. It is, I'm here for it. It's so funny. It's so awesome. He gets on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it now and says he played with Rendon. He says, I played with Rendon, literally hates baseball. He's like, yeah, it's long. Isn't that what you signed up for? 3 question marks. Just tell the team you want to play half the season and give back half your salary. 4 exclamation points.
4 exclamation. 4 slammers, as they say. Slammers.
It might have been 5. Let me count. 1, 2, who cares? It's more than 4. That's a lot. So funny. So I agree with him. I'm like, look, the dude does not want to play baseball. And we called it a couple of times last season where we were like, is he just copping out? Right. And then other guys did the same thing. And we started kind of tongue in cheek calling it pulling a Rendon. Where you're just like, ow, yeah. I'm hurting. I can't play.
Yeah. And you know what's funny though? Like he said, like, it's long. Isn't that what you signed up for? David Samson has said before on his show, I think he was talking about Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard is the one who started really getting heavy involved with the current like load management technique, strategy, I guess you can call it, where like you have your star play like 70% of the regular season games, then they're fresh for the playoffs, right?
Yeah, right.
But and the thing with Kawhi Leonard was he's like, well, my knee is just not healthy enough to play in 82 games. And Samson's like, if you're not healthy enough to play in 82 games, you're not healthy enough to play in the NBA. Like with Major League Baseball, yeah, there's only a handful of guys who play 162, right? I get it. That's a lot of games, right? He's not wrong. He's not wrong about that. A lot of games, not a lot of days off. I get it,
For sure.
right? But at the
Mhm.
same time, you sign up for 162 games. If you cannot mentally or physically hack the 162 game grind, even sitting on the bench for 10 games and being involved with the team for those games where you're not playing, you cannot hack Major League Baseball. And that's all
Right.
there is to it.
Yep.
If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. You can go coach baseball and make a lot of money because clearly you're very good at it. You know a lot about it, and you can teach some kids to play it
Totally.
really, really well. Like, he's made his money. If he's done with Major League Baseball, he can go right
Right.
off into the shadows or whatever and coach baseball,
Right. He could
or
find he
do
might find
something,
Jacoby Ellsbury.
hang out on a beach somewhere. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like he has the mental, I don't want to say the mental ability, but the mental drive to play a full Major League season.
Yes.
Based on what he said here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it feels like he's reached a point where a guy who wants to hang it up.
Yeah. I agree. And yeah, for just like you said, for me, this just confirms what we're all kind of wondering,
Yeah.
right? And by
Yeah.
all, I mean me and you. So
All two of us.
all two of us. That's a streak.